Hello everyone, welcome to the Redmen TV. The team news for Liverpool Brighton will be coming out momentarily. Welcome to the show. If you're new to us, we're going to be doing a watch along for the game at 15 minutes before kickoff, which today means 8 p.m. because it's a 8:15 kickoff because, yay. Boss, they just love making us just go to bed a little bit later. That's what footy's all about, isn't it? It's stressful VAR decisions and late to bed. Right, loads of ways in which you can interact with us, and by loads I mean two. You can tweet us at the Redmen TV, and of course you can use the comment section live alongside us as well. We have got Mr. Chris Pajak at the board. The rumours were swirling around Alisson not being available. It was confirmed by Liverpool just before the team come out, but the team is now out. Chris, what does it look like?
Kelleher started next for Liverpool Football Club. Alisson, obviously, 15 minutes ago, Liverpool confirmed those rumours with a tweet that just said he picked up a bit of an illness and stuff like that. So we've gone with Kelleher in goal. Robertson, Jordan Henderson and Nat Phillips again at the back with Trent Alexander-Arnold. And that was one of the things where we did think that was probably likely to be the case. We also said on the start 11 prediction show that we thought Davies would start on the bench, obviously not Kabak. That was correct. As far as the midfield go, it's exactly the same midfield, in fact, as last time out. Again, 3 times on the run is that now? We've played the same midfield, which is very un-Jurgen Klopp, isn't it? So we got Wijnaldum, we got Thiago, and we got
this season, Milner.
Maybe not this season, actually, yeah. I've thrown Shaqiri in the 10 again because of the performance against West Ham and the way that the midfield started that game. And I've got Bobby Firmino taking the Divock Origi position on the left-hand side of a front two with Mo Salah. Substitutes then, Adrian, Nico Williams, Kostas Tsimikas, Ben Davies does make the bench, Reece Williams makes the bench, 2 centre-halves on the bench. Go ahead. Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, Kurt Jones, Divock Origi and Kane as well makes it onto the bench. Go figure, like. So,
what's his first name, Chris?
Jake?
Yes, well done.
Well done. You know him, man. You know what I mean? So I'm quite pleased with that all told. I'm glad that Davies has made it onto the bench as well. I think that's important. Klopp said in his press conference that it was probably too soon to be playing them at the back together, certainly. But no, it's good that he's going to get onto the bench. And, you know, if the thing goes right and the game goes in our favour, then maybe you could see a little bit of a Ben Davies outing later on. The big question, I suppose, is over the midfield. I mean, there's a couple of ways that we can play this, I think. You could probably play Shaqiri from the right-hand side with Firmino on the left with Salah in the 9 if you wanted to. Or you could do it the other way around, keep Bobby and Salah in their main positions and put Shaqiri on that left-hand side as well. But I think after the last game, and I thought Shaqiri performed pretty well, the midfield with the diamond performed pretty well all told. Says to me that we're probably going to do that again. And I think one of the things that I really loved about West Ham is that we weren't sort of beholden to one style of attacking. You know, we played a lot centrally, we didn't cross the ball loads, and obviously having that extra man in the middle of the park with the diamond gave us a little bit more confidence to do that. So I'd be quite pleased to see that again, to be honest with you. And Bobby Firmino can obviously play that centre forward role. The two of them can play off each other. Of course, we've seen them time and time again over the last few years link up really well. So I expect the link up play to be better between Firmino and Salah than it was between Origi and Salah as well. And what was interesting, actually, I was talking to someone today in the carpool, and one of the things that we were talking about actually is a theory that his son had, which is around playing maybe Mane and Salah in these two positions. And I think it's worth a talk about. Obviously, he's not on the bench tonight, but you could maybe drop Firmino into this position, play Mane and Salah, and then Salah and Mane could actually get a little bit closer together, which would be interesting to see what happens when the full front three are back, if we like this midfield in the diamond shape.
Yeah, it is really interesting. I just get your thoughts, because obviously we changed from that formation at half time against West Ham. Do you think that'll be in the thinking in any way in this? Because obviously we tried a lot of things, but it wasn't necessarily, I wouldn't say it was a rip-roaring success what we did in the first half. Let's say he goes to more 4-2-3-1 as we did in the second half. What do you reckon it would look like?
Well, if Milner felt his hamstring the other night, I suppose Milner would be the one again, as he's playing again, to drop back in. So maybe you could see something along those lines there. But here's an interesting one for you, mate. The 4-2-2-2, the unheralded 4-2-2-2. And maybe you could step it a little bit like that if you wanted to, or whatever. I don't know. I mean, look, there's a few different ways you can play it, of course, but Thiago kind of went into the advanced midfield role against West Ham, didn't he? Milner dropped back and was told to stop running. Clearly that didn't work. Yeah. Milner just continued to do that, and to be fair, Milner probably saved a goal by doing that. And so what that told me on the day against West Ham was Klopp would rather have conceded than picked up another injury, which tells you all you need to know about Liverpool's injury problems this season, doesn't it, mate? So yeah, we could certainly do something like that, but I think with us starting like that, I don't think we're going to throw the baby out with the bathwater. So put a bet on us playing the 4-2-3-1, everyone.
Yeah, absolutely. Or 4-3-3. Yeah, let us know your thoughts on that stuff in the comments. We'll read through a couple in a moment. Yeah, just confirmation. I've got this up here, Ian Doyle, and all the major Northwest journals, to be fair, saying Alison Becker out with an illness for LFC. Kelleher comes in.
I confirmed that 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, absolutely.
But, you know, they've got journalism degrees.
Yeah, and also, yeah, the comments don't believe you, apparently. So, and I think that's good. I feel
that he's ill.
Yeah, because all the talk was like Alisson's out again, and you can't help you immediately go to, well, what's he done? What's he done? Is it his calf again? And if it's his calf again, then that becomes a persistent injury thing that he's got.
There's a rumour he had a clash of heads with Kelleher, which, you know, fair play for Kelleher to try and get himself into the team any which way.
Well, have you noticed how Liverpool have started sort of insulating themselves against nonsense rumours with team selection stuff? So whenever you find that there's a player who would normally be played
15 minutes before,
they tend to let that go out a little bit beforehand to kind of soften the blow. But what I mean by that is, obviously, ideally you want Alisson available, but there was a real worry that if that's an injury, then he's not going to be back for Man City.
It would have been something like his fourth training injury over the last couple of years, wouldn't it, if it was an injury today? But yeah, you're right, City on the horizon. You want Alisson Becker in there, and you know, obviously he was spotted at Kirby, wasn't he? So I mean, it's not so bad that he didn't turn up for work, but we don't know the full extent of it yet.
Well, if nothing else, what the world's done is bring into sharp focus how you can transmit things to other people. Now, there was talk, wasn't there, last week that Thiago wasn't very well, and they've obviously pushed him through, and he's pushed through and stuff. But if he's in a situation where he's got the flu, I mean, for a start, if he got the flu, it's pretty debilitating. But equally, it's also one of those things where you don't want to run the risk of anyone else in the squad going down with it, particularly ahead of Man City. Now, all he's got to do is he's on a coach and in a an enclosed environment. He's not. Everyone's cleared of COVID, but you can still. And this is the thing about life: you can still have the flu, you can still have heavy colds, you can still pick up other illnesses that cause a knock-on impact. Yeah, I know. Honestly, they're all definitely real. Like we're all in agreement that the flu's real, right?
Yeah. Okay.
100%.
Yeah. Yeah, it's flat though.
Yeah. It's definitely not. God, there will be people in the comments. Like the bots are drawn to the conversation. It's like how Facebook can hear when you talk about things and you get adverts for it. So I'm pleased. And as I say, relatively speaking, because I had a real fear there. And look, Kelleher's fine. Kelleher's come in and been really solid when we've needed him so far this season. So, and that's one of the encouraging things about having seen him earlier on in the season is we're now dropping in a goalie who. I don't think anyone's concerned that Kelleher is starting against Brighton, whereas I think we would have been if it was Adrian, or if this was 2 or 3 months ago at the start of the season. You'd be absolutely shitting your pants.
He's got a little bit of credit in the bank, hasn't he? You know, when we've seen him, he's been good. You know, I love the fact that he plays the ball with both feet. I love the fact that he gets rid of the ball quickly. He seems to be so calm in possession. Doesn't seem to be rushed or anything like that. And doesn't. This is stupid, really, but like. Some goalkeepers just look dead uncomfortable and they make you nervous for looking uncomfortable. Adrian is certainly one of those. Mignolet was one of those goalkeepers. Kelleher's not. He doesn't make me feel uncomfortable. Yeah. And I know it shouldn't be a thing, how they look or how they run, but it does. It plays into your anxieties around
Adrian and Milner
players.
Were on the opposite ends of the spectrum of that, and yet the net result was exactly the same. Mignolet just looked really awkward and uncomfortable, and Adrian was far too relaxed for the man of his ability. He played and carried himself like a man who had Alisson's ability, but very much did not. But you're right, Kelleher's got a nice demeanour about him. He carries himself in the right way.
I think Liverpool think he's their number 2 goalkeeper for the next, I don't know how, insert number of years here, but I do really think that they think he can go on to be a number 1 goalkeeper.
I think if we get through next summer without buying someone else, you know, someone who's really obviously, a second choice. We probably will have to go into the market in the summer because Adrian will get moved on because he just will. But that's going to be an interesting decision. We've got Conor McMullen with the super chat. He says, always something after every game. Brutal. And that's why I'm glad it's not an injury, because you're right. Because that game we had our Redmen WhatsApp group was just filled with people going, it's every game. Who's going to go out next? Who's going to be the next player? And it gets on top of you and it creeps into your mind. Whereas again, I can live with players going down with it's winter. People get sick in winter, provided it's not COVID, hopefully, and obviously if it's not.
The big surprise out of that team for me was Milner again, because it's 4 games back to back, weekend midweek, isn't it? So, and especially with that little sort of hamstring, or the fact that he felt his hamstring or whatever against West Ham, I was certain that Kurt Jones would come into this side. That's the one that shocked me.
I think the only way I can imagine this is a even close to a sensible decision is one of two things. We're going to see half an hour of Curtis Jones or Ox, whatever, or we're convinced that Henderson's ready to come back into the midfield for the weekend. Oh, yeah, because that can't. It's insane to me that you're playing Milner again in this game when. Because for my mind, at the moment, given who we've got available or had available up to this point, that is our best working midfield when we're trying to patch the defence together. Whereas it does start to open the question.
Do you reckon they'll Ledley King in him? Do you reckon he's training?
Which Milner. One? What, Milner?
Milner, he's just coming in for the games at the moment.
He's the opposite. He's doing the anti-Ledley King thing. He's like,
He's training with the under 18s in the morning, then the under 23s in the afternoon, and at night time with the full squad. Nice.
He's that lad who used to play. He'd come and play Sunday footy, and then come and have a kickabout in the park.
They used to piss me off, them on. and you're like, you've just finished the game of 5-a-side with them, and they go, I've got another game over there on that pitch now, and you're like,
yeah, absolutely, doing everything. You're trying to make peace with God to try and get your lungs to.
Just hoping that my legs get through so that I can press my fucking clutch all the way home without dying.
Yeah, definitely, absolutely.
Completely off topic, Paul. But what's an induced coma about? Why? Like, isn't it a bit mad that like you can just put you to sleep for a few months?
Yeah.
How did he do it, Paul?
Yeah, I'll tell you right. I am a jack of many trades, but when it comes to how you medically induce comas, I'll have to admit a slight gap in my knowledge there. If someone wants to Google it, mainly you, not now. That would be amazing. I don't know. Where do you go with that? Loads of people asking the Alisson stuff. Is it COVID? We don't know. They've not said whether it is, and I don't think they actually would. To be honest, does anyone know? Has he
I don't think they're allowed to anyway. Are they? The club? It's only when the player says it, because it's all like fucking it's medical records and stuff like that. So players have been coming out and saying, "Oh, I've had COVID" and stuff, but the clubs have never actually come out and said he's got COVID before. They've said it when someone's put it like on an Instagram story, or they've done it themselves first.
Interesting. Okay, yeah, cool. Also we've seen a bunch of good pieces of news and what have you. Obviously, Diogo Jota back in training as well, which was very, very welcome sight indeed. But in terms of the team, not really too much other to shout about that. A lot of it is just leading towards the weekend, really. The big one, of course, on the bench is Ben Davies. We said about this. I mean, given that Kabak only actually got into Liverpool yesterday and did all his photos and all that kind of stuff, he won't have been anywhere near training with the team, so Ben Davies has probably had that extra day, if anything. I didn't expect him to start in this game, but the ideal world scenario here, and look, it's a very ideal world because you've got to get through this game, is to get him, just get him a couple of minutes, even if it's only like the last 5 minutes of the game, just as your third sub, just chuck him on, get him on the pitch, get him to go through the run out and all that kind of stuff, and I think we'll all be happy with that. But he's the one I'm actually really looking forward to seeing, because I had the lowest expectations.
Yeah, they're sometimes the better signings, aren't they? I mean, the video that Ben HD, if you've not watched it on our YouTube channel, Ben HD is a Preston North End fan championship YouTuber. Premier League quality YouTuber, but he talks about the championship. He's done a video with us a couple of days ago. I think it was yesterday morning, actually. It's absolutely brilliant. If you want a little bit of hype around Ben Davies, listen to a Preston North End fan talk about their player joining us. It's absolutely brilliant. Go and check it out.
Yeah, absolutely. On that subject as well, if you want more from that, I actually sat down with former Preston captain John Welsh, a former Liverpool player as well from back in the day. Anyone who played Champman 102 will know him very well, to get his take on having played alongside him as well. That's on the redmentv.com beersofanfield.com, and I also interviewed the Athletic journalist Raphael Honigstein this afternoon to speak about Ozan Kabak, and there was an expression that was used that Liverpool might well have gotten deal of the century that came out from there. That show will be out very, very... Actually, Tom, do we know when that's going out? Now, Ben from out of nowhere shouts now. So if you want to sign up to the redmentv.com and keep yourself entertained in the gap between this show and the watch along, you can watch the John Welsh show, and you'll be able to watch the Raf Honigstein one in there as well, and of course check out the Ben HD one if you don't want to do all that stuff. But yeah, fantastic, loads more to discuss of course, but we'll do that when we return at 8 p.m. tonight. Make sure you have clicked the notification bell as well as subscribe to the YouTube channel for all that good stuff. And Chris, yes, because this is officially past 20 past 7.
We have new merchandise.
We do indeed.
It's not on the shelf underneath us, but it is right behind us here. So you can see here we've teamed up with Beers of Anfield Road. They've got this incredible range of beer mats, basically.
So you
can see them here. Look at that, Ali's Ale. Oxlager. They're absolutely superb. They're so good that I don't want to put my drinks on them, to be fair.
Yeah, they are too good to use.
And we've taken those designs with their goodwill, of course, and put them on t-shirts and stuff, right? And you can get them on the shop now. We're going to put the link in the chat. It's already in there. And if you buy one of the t-shirts or one of the hoodies, you will get 20% off a pack of beer mats as well. That automatic discount will be added when you put both a Beers of Anfield Road shirt or hoodie and the beer mat in. And they are absolutely amazing. I am absolutely loving mine.
Boss.
Just think they're incredible.
There you go. And yeah, we'll be wearing these for the rest of the night, so you can get a bit of a closer look as we do it. But yes, thank you so much for joining us. Do check back at 8 p.m. As we count down towards kickoff and beyond. We hope to see you there. Ta-ra.